and then this should just pop right out from the inside. The new one doesn't have this wonderful engineering. The new one has it more simplistic. Now after cleaning the flange here on the inside or the bottom of the sink, I cleaned that all up. Now I'm going to install this. It's got a rubber gasket right here, and it just plops in from the top. Alright. Want to get the lettering orientated correctly. Then this model has a gasket and a locking ring, which squeezes the rubber gasket down. I'll go ahead and install that. There ain't going to be no leaks from there. That's pretty solid. If it does leak, the water's going to come out here and get this wet. Alright, and if that's the case, I'll tighten this up even further, but it's a rubber gasket and it's a clean surface. It should be fine. We're not talking, 80 psi water pressure here. We're just talking water in the sink. Alright, so we should be fine here. If not, if I can't get this a leak, I'll just have to put plumber's putty. I'm not a plumber's putty kind of a guy. Alright, so next I install the other flange. Now I'm going to install this rubber ring here, and this is the flange that mounts the new Waste King to this plastic nipple from the sink that I just installed. Now if you'll notice, this is kind of an important thing. There's a ridge right here. See this ridge? Yeah. Okay. This gasket, it has a lip. You can see the lip where my thumb is. That has to be in this groove. Okay. That's what makes the seal. And it actually uses the gasket as a vibration. So when the Waste King runs, it won't vibrate your sink. It's kind of a clever idea. It's a little bit better than that other thing, but you have to put this on first, then the ring. And I have to get back in my reverse elbow technique. So this goes on first, then this rubber flange, and it just gets jammed in there. Just like that. Look at that, huh? There. Just make sure it's seated correctly. I don't want to get it too high or too low. This is correct right here. A little too high. Here it goes. A little. Here it goes. Yeah, I guess this is an important step here. If you don't get that seated correctly, it'll leak. And almost got it. We're doing some almost gotting here. Right, like that. Okay. All right. Yep. Now, if you also notice that, let me turn this guy in a little camera view. This is the notch where you tighten it. So you got to tighten it to the right, and it'll force the garbage disposer up on this rubber ring here, and that's the seat. And there's just a notch here, and right up on top is a notch, and that's where you need the screwdriver here to turn it. We're using it as leverage, or as the English would say, leverage. So let me grab the unit. Okay, now it's time to mount, and you can't really see it from here, but mount this guy up into this flange. And if you notice, you got the little tip right there, and all I do is just stick this up. And it's right there. I have to reposition myself. I'm doing some repositioning. Yep. Alright. Here's the tip. Here's the little notch right there. So it just sits like this. Push it down. And I missed it. Do it again. Drum solo, please. Missed it again. I don't know. Oh, there it goes, there it goes, there it goes. And I turn it, and I let it hang. And the reason I'm letting it hang, it wasn't that bad, is I gotta turn this machine where I can line up this. Now, this is just hanging here. I haven't tightened up that flange yet. What I have to do before I snug everything down is put the trap in there and line the trap up. You see the distance? Okay. I already got, just slip this guy on, right like that. I haven't tightened these two screws up yet with the nut driver. I just want to make sure I can get the correct angle on this. I don't want to put any really undue pressure on the pipes. So the easiest way to do this is just take this and snug it down. Do some down snuggage. There. Okay. And now I'm going to turn this guy to line it up. Just like that. See that? Okay. You'll also notice this notch up here. Now it's time to jam down on it, all right, and lock it in place, because the pipes are going to be lined up. No problem with the pipes, all right, and I can also snug those down. So to lock that in place, I'm going to have to go back, do the reverse left elbow bending technique, all right, and have this nice countertop dig into my back shoulder blade so I can do that. Also, if you also notice right up here, I've popped out this. This was the plug. I have a dishwasher. That's where I'm going to put the dishwasher, return from the dishwasher. See that? It'll go right up on top of the blades there, the cutting thing. So let me do my repositioning. And here we go. And just lock this thing down. Until it clicks. Do some almost a little half action. Well, halfway down. It kind of wants to jam a little bit. 3/4. See, I knocked myself out of adjustment a little bit, so let me do that like that. Okay. Let me get a different position on it. I'm having not so much fun on this whole deal here. Let me reposition the camera so you don't get a better view of it, of my struggles. But you can see the notch. Oh, I got it. That notch is all the way to the top. Okay. So now it's a matter of a little adjustment. I knocked it out, but I could, there we go. And then we could take this bad boy. And these are just plastic gaskets. That's all they are. Okay. Now, get my nut driver and tighten these down. Actually, it's this size. This is just a rubber flange. Do some so there's no leak that way. There. And there. That's all nice and tight. Okay. Last but not least is my dishwasher input. Fits right on there, completely a standard size. I'm glad they didn't decide on changing it up. And actually on this one, since we have a lip here, what I'll wind up doing is reversing the hose clamp so I can get it on the top like that, which would be more comfortable right there. Okay. It has been installed. Last but not least is the plug. All right, I filled the sink up. Now it's time to see if it leaks. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not, quiet isn't what it's supposed to be here. All right, but no leaks. I'm primarily looking for leaks here at this flange, here at this flange. I haven't run the dishwasher yet to do that. Here and here and here. Down here on the base, you can tell it's wood's nice and dry, so I'll run some more water through it, but it was pretty loud. So, all right, well, the quiet, the last one was more quieter than this one, but I guess this one's got twice the horsepower. Well, that's it. here's the old machine. I'm going to take it apart here in a little bit and see where it failed, and then I'll take the entire assembly and throw it in the garbage. Okay? It's only a couple of years old. It's actually a 3rd horsepower versus 1 horsepower. So I tripled my horsepower. Maybe that's why it's a little bit louder than what I'm used to. This was probably a little weak, but it gave me 3-4 years worth of life out of it. It said it had a 1-year warranty. And again, like I say at the beginning, you get what you pay for. This time around, I did a little bit of research. The internet's a little bit more accessible and more stuff on it than it was when I bought this originally. When I had the house built, they put in one that lasted about, I don't know, the same lifespan as about 4 or 5 years, and it went out. All right, and it had oddball flanges, and it was probably a $30, builder's grade garbage disposer. So I should have did that a couple of years ago when I replaced it, but I was cheap. I bought this. Now it's here sitting on my kitchen countertop. The installation was relatively easy. All I really needed was a couple nut drivers and a screwdriver to tighten up the flange. And overall, it took me maybe less than an hour from start to finish to do. And I'm satisfied with it. It works just fine. So don't buy cheap. Get yourself something good and then it'll last. See ya.